With us now, associate editor and Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the Washington Post, Eugene Robinson, who has an op-ed piece accusing Sarah Palin of flip-flopping on climate change. Also with us, columnist for Vanity Fair, Christopher Hitchens. Christopher, what you and Gene both spoke with the vice president outside after he left the set. I was struck by how inflexible he was on Afghanistan regarding what happens 18 months from now, which I personally see as a positive. Gates, a bit more flexible, and Clinton the same. Who wins that battle?
All of them are all the same, resolved to be irresolute. Adamant for drift, as was once said by a better speaker than myself. They all say, here's how we're going to strengthen our hand. We're going to tell you what day we fold it. I think this is ridiculous. There's a bit of wiggle room about the dates and so forth, but essentially the great psychological weapon the Taliban possess is their ability to go around the villages at night and say, remember us, we'll always be here. The Americans have already told you they won't. Whose side are you going to join now? Now, what I said to the vice president outside was, why did he only mention the name India once in the whole of what he said?
You think India is the key to this regional issue?
He happened to mention two countries beginning with I in passing, the other one being Iran. These are actually the two decisive countries geopolitically. They dominate that region. And if we resume doing what this president has stopped doing, which is make a firm strategic alliance with India, as well as the economic and cultural and political one that we should be building, are building anyway, from Silicon Valley through to a number of other things. They have the same enemies as we do. They were supporting the Northern Alliance before we were. They will always be there long after the Taliban have gone.
Gene, Pakistan, one of the most unreliable partners. They feel the same way about us.
Completely unreliable, and to put all your eggs in that basket, to say, oh, gee, we're going to go with the Pakistanis seems to me not a tremendously wise thing to do. The interesting thing was that as we were talking with the vice president, I mean, he understands the importance of India in this whole equation, yet that doesn't get squared with the kind of we don't want to own Afghanistan, we just want to rent it indefinitely idea that seems to be the policy right now.
And what is the goal in Afghanistan? What is our goal? I mean, 10 years from now, we could be there, but 10 years and one day from now, the Taliban will still be there.
Some sort of stable government, even though there's never been a stable government, that does not play host to Al-Qaeda. And it's not necessarily... I don't see how that happens. They think that the way they do it is to shore up Pakistan as well on the other side of the border. But we see from the reporting today, Jane Perlez in the New York Times, that Pakistan is resisting pressure to go after the Haqqani network, which has been in league with the ISI, the Pakistani security units, and they don't want to go after their brothers either. So Pakistan is also playing this game and getting a lot of money in the bargain.
Remember, the Taliban is Pakistan's idea to begin with.
Right.
Taliban is the name given to Pakistan's proxies. In Afghanistan, Pakistan's always wanted a colony across its border to give itself strategic depth. I'm going to go on being a bore about this. With the war, they think they're going to fight with India. That's where they have all their troops. The vice president was saying, they have, just to me just now, they have all their troops on the wrong border. The one with India.
That's what they care about.
And
they care about the India conflict.
Do you mind moving your troops where they're not menacing one of our best friends and moving them to attack our worst enemy? They say, no. Not even if you pay us.
Yeah. Now, Gene, you wrote today about Sarah Palin, one of your favorite subjects.
I did.
Saying that she was a hypocrite. She flip-flopped on climate change.
I actually was praising her. I found that when she was governor of Alaska, she actually did several reasonable things and said lots of reasonable things about climate change, which she just attacked as ludicrous and ridiculous in an op-ed in our paper last week, urging President Obama not to.
Now, the Washington Post took a lot of flack for running that op-ed.
I'm glad the Post ran the piece, and she did acknowledge that, well, it does seem there are some changes in the climate, but it's natural as far as we know, and no one's proved it's man-made. When she was governor of Alaska, she set up a cabinet-level task force to deal with climate change because they're living it. They're not imagining what might happen when things warm.
If you look at what she said in the debate with Joe Biden, she actually was very much more forward-leaning from the point of those who support the Obama initiatives on climate change.
Yeah, but look.
But that debate is something that she has completely run away from now.
I'm sorry, don't be too hard on her. I mean, she didn't write that piece, and she probably hasn't even read it. I doubt she could either read or write it.
I bet you wonder if she's read
a long piece about this the other day. Saying everything she does is for effect. And is always deniable. She can switch back in a minute. At the moment, she thinks that her Tea Party crowd want to hear this kind of thing, so she'll say that. She's been out to say, well, I don't know, but I think the president ought to produce his birth certificate. I'm not saying that it isn't a good question. But then later, because she's got to go to the gridiron dinner in Washington and learn how to use a knife and fork, be taught by Fred Malek.
Oh, my God.
She takes it back. No, I think she's a disgraceful opportunist and a real moral coward.
This is terrible,
really,
It's an awful game.
Are you sure you're being clear about how you feel?
Let's
he wouldn't mince words.
No, we've got to go, but really quickly, another bomb blast in Iraq.
The president and his birth certificate was monstrous, and the way that she did her sweet little retreat was even cheaper.
Okay.
I couldn't decide which was the worst thing.
Are we sure we're clear? All right.
So that she's doing the same thing on climate change wouldn't surprise me. Same with the Alaska Independence Party, same with turning up at the Pat Buchanan rally. There's always another story. If you don't like the first one, I've got another one for you.
Okay.
You have in mind. Happy holidays to you.
My
Coming up next.
Merry Christmas.